6:05 on a Throwback Thursday. Unless, of course, you don't take pictures of yourself from years ago and post them up on your social media platforms. Then it's just a Thursday.
This is not just a Thursday.
If you're lucky enough to have that 4-day work week, then this is your Friday. It's also the kickoff to the NFL season with the Ravens battling the Chiefs, the Swifts, out there in Kansas City.
Who are we pulling for? The Swifts? You pulling for the Chiefs, or like what are we rooting on?
I cannot. I'm a Bengals kid. I cannot root for the Ravens. I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't understand any of that, but so who are you rooting for?
Okay.
Thick Rick.
It's like if you have a choice where you have to root between Michigan and Penn State.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a toughie.
They don't like either team because they have a current rivalry with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So the year the Ravens played the 49ers, worst Super Bowl of my life. Because can't root for the Ravens. Yeah. And the 49ers beat the Bengals in the only 2 other Super Bowl appearances they've been in, out before the Rams, so I can't root for the 49ers.
Well, I'm rooting for the Chiefs because I love how upset everyone gets over Taylor Swift. So as much as the more we can see Taylor Swift, the better for me.
You know what?
The whole internet goes nuts over Taylor. So you know what? I love to needle those people.
I do too, but I get all kind of crap for that.
You know
I'm with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you and I, we're on a team here.
Okay,
yes,
right.
we're together on that.
I just think it's hilarious.
Me too.
The impact that she made.
I love it.
You know, it's funny. I almost posted this on the Blitz Facebook page the other day, and I didn't because we live in 2024 America, and someone would there's someone, probably a lady, that would take offense to this. There's a meme, and I'll show it to you guys, that says, "I don't care what anybody says, Travis Kelce is not happy." And they show a picture of X number 1, which is this like Kim Kardashian built, large boob, big butt chick. X number 2 is standing backwards in a white dress with large boob, big butt. And then there's Taylor Swift standing there she took 2 tablets of no acetol and is standing on stage. And the caption is, "I don't care what anybody says, Travis Kelce is not happy." And I wanted to respond with that, where I disagree wholeheartedly. Because should Travis Kelce marry or knock up Taylor Swift, it is the greatest financial guaranteed deal he would ever get beyond what the NFL could ever pay him.
Oh, so it's just about the money.
Absolutely.
Well, you did say you would like to find a rich
I'd be more than happy to find a rich widow on the verge of death that just wants to take care of me. I'm not a Marine, but I could man up.
Kelly, you look so cool in that black. What kind of material is that?
I don't know. His jacket?
Yeah. You just look so rock and roll in it.
Wow, I feel rock and roll. I'm glad you noticed.
Cold black, shiny. Look at that.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Horns up.
I like it.
Is that what you say?
Horns up, yep.
Avatar sold out. I saw that in communication.
Sure did.
That's pretty wild. It's awesome.
So we are giving away sold-out tickets today.
Yes.
You talked about everybody and Taylor Swift, and Patrick Mahomes was interviewed this week and talked about her influence.
I think it's been cool to see the girls and the women that have really embraced watching football. And I know being a girl dad, how cool it is for me. Yeah. I mean, to see like these little girls, these daughters, and how much they're loving and spending time with their dad watching football, and then meeting Taylor and realize how genuine and cool she is. She's really interested in football, and she asked a lot of great questions. She's already drawing up plays, so we might have to put one in.
So she says that, and they're letting Taylor Swift create their plays, and I'm like, are you guys really serious right now? I mean, come on.
Because someone would believe that would happen.
You think Andy Reid is consulting Taylor? Give me a break. People
Andy Reid's just consulting.
Ridiculous.
All Andy Reid's consulting is another helping of nugs.
A cheeseburger. He loves his cheeseburgers.
And again, good on Andy Reid.
But yeah, season begins tonight, man.
You gonna watch, Kelly? You and Charlie?
Charlie probably will. I don't give a crap.
Kelly will be asleep for kickoff.
Yeah, when's kickoff?
8:20.
Oh my gosh, are you joking? I'll be in my first stage of REM. Don't you go through like 4 REMs a night? I'll be in for stage number 1 REM.
And here's the glowing difference between you and I. I'll hit my first stage of REM at like 11:30, 11:45, maybe.
Maybe that's what's wrong with you.
Oh, wait. Tomorrow's Friday. That could come as late as 12:30. I don't know. Jeez. We'll see. Oh,
yeah. A good night's sleep is the key to health.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what I agree with you.
Is that what you say too?
No, I truly do wish. I get so irritated when, you should get a full 8-9 hours of rest. I wish I could. I'm a 5 to 6 hour a night guy. Anything more, anything less, I'm useless. That's how I've always been. I would love to be able to sleep 8 consecutive hours and feel great like all you people rave about. But it doesn't work for me. As much as I try, unless I'm in a booze-induced alcoholic coma.
Like you are now?
Yes, it's not going to happen. Like, I can't.
Your body's trained that way. That's why. You can train your body.
5 hours, that's it. 5 to 6, I'm good.
Well, that's good you know yourself. I mean, that's all right. Then you're doing what you need to be doing for your own body.
I got 8 hours and I feel refreshed. F you.
Well, you say you're good, but every other day you walk in here going, I'm so tired.
Yeah, like you'll come in here and say good morning, and only one person ever answers, and that's Thick Rick. Lewis is over here. He just like deep in his phone.
Yep.
I like, hey, I go walk in, I go, morning. Thick Rick goes, hey, morning. How's it going? And this is what Lewis says.
Yep, and he's staring at that phone, he's scrolling through things on the phone. F them, F her, F all that, F this chair.
For the record, though, every morning I answer the bell. I am on time, most of the time, even when it rains.
Oh, you're always on time.
No, I
will say that.
It takes me a minute to get my thoughts in order.
That's all right. Everybody's different. I've learned to accept it. I appreciate it. I embrace it. I know I'm not getting a good morning from you, and that's fine. And it's because I understand.
But you have to admit, later in the morning, I don't shut up.
You and I have a very different definition of a minute, though. I will tell you that. All right, Morning Blitz trivia, $25 to waterbeds and stuff up for grabs. Be the first one to answer this question by texting it in at 99700. So we will begin the NFL season tonight, and as we begin, the Dallas Cowboys have just become the first sports team to be worth over $10 billion. They check in with a value of $10.1 billion. That is top on the list. Who is the bottom? Who is the 32nd team?
Oh. I don't even need to think about this, and I know the answer.
Yeah, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
No, I know.
Okay.
I can't say it. Don't give a clue.
Well, don't give any clues. So, who is the lowest valued team in the NFL? Be the first one to tell us at 99700 and get the gift card.
6:23 on the Morning Blitz, and it is 2024 America. We can no longer let the bodies hit the floor. We need to make sure the bodies are gently laid on the floor. Gonna need Drowning Pool to rewrite those lyrics. Could you imagine if that actually happened?
Go ahead.
Let the bodies gently hit the floor.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same ring.
That's not going to work.
It's Dick Kelly and Lewis. Morning Blitz trivia.
Oh, man, NFL Films music, isn't it the best? Just gives me chills, you guys. I can see it in Kelly's eyes. All right. The Dallas
football is her love language.
Right.
I'm giving you the same treatment that Lewis gives me every morning. Silence.
All right. So the Dallas Cowboys just became the first team to be worth over $10 billion. They are now valued at $10.1 billion. The question was, who is the least valued team in the NFL? So who checks in at number 32? Lewis, you said you absolutely knew who this was.
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's the Bengals.
It's the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, here's what I'll say about that. Yeah, their value's $4.1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But that just shows that it doesn't matter which team you are in the league, you can get to the Super Bowl. Because they did.
They went despite in spite of the coach and ownership, not because of the coach and ownership.
Well, the thing is, regardless of your value, you have the same salary cap as everybody else.
Now, I will say, I have met Katie Blackburn, and she comes across as very smart.
Tell everybody who she is.
Oh, she is I believe she's the daughter or daughter-in-law of Mike Brown.
All right.
So she is she kind of has been the go-to handling of the day-to-day operations. And she does seem to be a little bit better than what Mike used to be. I mean, because again, if this were the Mike Brown era, the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, we can suck for the next 20 years, and that's fine. Hey, remember when we went to the Super Bowl? Hey,
right.
Remember we went to that's the mentality. and it's different. I heard a story where it took them a while to get like normal luxury stuff. Like they were so cheap, like their locker room didn't even have like body length towels at one point in time.
Yeah, that whole we went to the Super Bowl or we won playoff, nobody cares. That's why when people tell me about, the Cowboys don't win playoff games, doesn't matter unless you win the Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills, they talk about them. Well, they've won playoff games. You think those fans care? They lost 4 straight Super Bowls. They've never won a ring. Those fans don't give a damn about playoff wins. They want a Super Bowl championship.
I saw a picture of Troy Aikman and Dak Prescott and Tony Romo in one picture, and the caption was 3 Super Bowl rings in the same picture.
Why was Dak in it?
It was all 3 belong to Troy.
Oh, okay, I got you. I went over my head first. Okay, so think about this though. Like I said, the least valuable team went to the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs, they ranked 24th on the list at $4.85 million, and they've won 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls.
A lot of that has to do with market size as far as the city you're in.
Yeah.
Again, the Rams, and I'm sure the Chargers now, because they're in L.A., are probably valued higher than they actually are. And again, anybody got any hopes for the Chargers this year?
They're not even in the top 10.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah. But who's up there? Dallas, Chicago, the Rams, the Giants, the Jets, probably.
You're naming them all. Keep going.
Phoenix might be up there, but I don't know. Because I think Phoenix is owned by the state, not per one particular city.
Those top 10 are Cowboys, Rams, Patriots,
Boston,
Giants, Jets, 49ers,
San Francisco,
Raiders, Vegas. Yeah. Eagles, Bears, Commanders.
That makes sense.
That's your top 10.
That's, Katie's Mike's daughter. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, John Dutra, thank you. I knew she was...
They all keep it in the family.
I couldn't remember if she was daughter or daughter-in-law, but yeah, she's cool. She's got a good head on her shoulders.
Most of these teams try to keep it in the family. They just keep promoting their family members up to take over so that it just stays in the family.
I'll ask this question even to you, Kelly. If you were given billions of dollars and you had to buy a sports team, or you could buy into a sports team or a franchise, which one? I know you'd buy into the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
What would you? I'm curious for you. What would you buy into? You have to. You have to own a sports team. There's no way around it. That's the only way you can spend the money.
And you
It'd
can't buy the Buckeyes.
It'd be a baseball team. Probably, I guess the Reds.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I thought that's what you would say.
I'd defer to Charlie on that one, but he'd probably go with the Reds.
Yeah,
that'd be good. That'd be cool
because nobody can buy the Buckeyes.
No, you can't buy a college team.
You can't.
I mean, you can, just not on paper.
Oh, right, yeah. All right, well, Chuck Bolt from Chillicothe was the first one to text in the Bengals, so Chuck's got $25 to waterbeds and stuff.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
It's 6:39. Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn, and Lewis on a Thursday. What do you got, Thick Rick?
Well, I got something here. This comes from Goodyear, Arizona, where, like as you mentioned yesterday, Kelly, it's been 100 degrees or hotter for 100 straight days. And there's a good dude down there by the name of David Martin who has been, since 2020 actually, because every summer's super hot for a long time out there, had a cooler out in front of his house with free water for anybody in his neighborhood who walks
Very
by.
nice.
It's just there's a cooler full of bottled water. If you need one, grab one. And now he's being fined for it by the HOA.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be?
He says, I don't feel like I'm doing a disservice to the HOA, to the community, or my family, and it baffles my brain and makes my brain work too hard to figure it out. The HOA gave him a warning. Martin called them up, expressing his frustration with the notice, and shortly after that, he received an apology letter. So he thought it was over and done with. But ever since this past May, FS Residential, the company that oversees the Canyon Trails HOA, has been fining David. It started as a $50 fine in May and increased to $100 every month after and continues to go up at this time.
Yeah, those 100-degree days started in May.
Yeah.
And they've continued.
Yeah. And so has his fines.
That is absolutely... I hope they get shamed.
Well, he said they won't get one penny from him. So I don't know how that works if you
Keep
don't pay an
me.
HOA fine. Of course, this got into the media, so the HOA had to release a statement to the media saying, well, a resident can provide free water bottles to the community, but not advertise the water bottle distribution from a portable ice chest visible from neighboring property. Well, I mean, that's no different than us putting, water on our porch for the delivery guys, which everybody around here has been doing a lot lately.
Right.
His neighbors thought it was horrible and atrocious that the HOA should focus more on improving their community than fining someone for giving out free water, because they don't seem to be focusing on their community all that much, just fining people. People have even tried to give the money to Martin, pay the fines for him. But he says no, because they're not getting any. So I'm like, man, sometimes you have to use some common sense and say, look, it's 110 degrees out. The guy's offering water for people.
How dare you use a cheap Coleman cooler for my water? I demand it be in a Yeti.
Telling you what, HOAs might as well just be like the internal order of hall monitors.
Right?
Because that's all they are.
Yeah.
Did you get permission to be in the hallway?
Where's your pass?
Where's your pass?
I think like
HOA rule number 723.6 says you must be 6 inches from the curb, and I'm afraid you are 4. But that's what it is.
Yeah?
Oh. Holiday decorations? Really? We have a 15-day out rule, and it's day 17.
I feel like if I was in an HOA, I would never admit that in public.
No, you get punched in the face. It's just like CEOs who get punched in the face on treadmills. If you're the head of your HOA, watch out if you're in the community gym.
Those people are out there bragging it up, aren't they?
Yep. And they probably all go for happy hour. Oh, yeah? You got a guy for early decorations? I nailed a person for having their garage door open. This is great. Hey, let's get a couple of more Coronas over here.
Well, I got something.
What do you got?
Well, I'm going to continue with my Queen obsession. I swear this will be my last Queen I got something for the week, unless I come up with something tomorrow. Today would have been Freddie Mercury's 78th birthday. Of course, he died in 1991 at the age of 45 after being diagnosed with AIDS several years earlier. Now, you know that Rolling Stones guitarist Ronnie Wood is an amazing artist. So he has painted a brand new portrait of Freddie Mercury, and the prints are helping raise money for the charity that the surviving members of Queen created called Mercury Phoenix Trust, which goes to fight AIDS worldwide. Now, this painting is so cool. It is Freddie Mercury, fist in the air. It has him dressed in that yellow jacket that he wore at the 86 Wembley concert, which you'll recognize.
The band
iconic.
Jacket?
Yeah, and it's a really, really cool painting. Now, the original painting's not being sold yet, but just the prints are $999 per print, unframed. It's a charity, and it's a really cool print. So, FYI, I don't know. It's a little pricey for me, dog, but...
you're not going to, bone up some money and buy
I wish
one?
I could. I mean, if I had that kind of money, this is a neat... I mean, it really is just a gorgeous painting. Ronnie Wood is incredible. He is an incredible artist. You should go through. He's got tons and tons of paintings that he sells prints off of his website at shop.ronniewood.com. Just to kind of stroll through it and look at what he's done is absolutely mind-blowing. He's a great artist. But anyway, happy birthday posthumously to Freddie Mercury, who would have been 78 today.
Arguably on the Mount Rushmore of frontmen. Mm-hmm. Has to be. We talked about it the other day when we were talking about Adam Lambert and Queen. Irreplaceable frontman.
Yep.
No matter how you spin it. All right, I got something. Since it is the NFL kickoff tonight, did you know there have been 2 NFL games in the Super Bowl era where the team's defense held an opponent to negative yardage?
Really?
So they just kept backing up? That was it?
In the Super Bowl?
Has not happened in 45 years. The LA Rams held the Seattle Seahawks to -7 yards during a game in 1979. In the Super Bowl era, not the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
And the Oakland Raiders held the Denver Broncos to -5 yards in a game in 1967. But that's the only 2 times in NFL history that teams have been held to negative yards, which means they didn't do anything.
Oh, you just lost yards.
Yeah. like Kelly said, you kept backing up, moving in the wrong direction.
A lot of sacks.
So yeah, since the NFL kicks off tonight, I feel like that's kind of a fitting thing. I have something else, but I'm not going to tell you guys about it until after 8 o'clock this morning. You guys know, I went and looked at something yesterday.
Oh, my gosh, I can't wait to hear this.
And let me just tell you, I walked right into a scam to the point where I'm not sure this is legal, and I kind of want to rat this dude out. And when I say dude, I really mean douchebag. But
Okay.
Like, I kind of want to, like, I don't know, though. I've almost done it twice. And I'm like, no, let me run it by the guys and see what they think. So we'll talk about that after 8 o'clock this morning. But it's pretty wild. Papa Roach on the Morning Blitz. I saw a cute email from somebody the other day that, hey, did you guys see Papa Roach and Daughtry on Family Feud? We did.
Yes.
We also talked to both Chris and Jacoby prior to Family Feud.
Yeah, that's how we knew they were going to be on there.
Yeah, it was a good show. I'm glad you finally got to see it. It was very entertaining. She's like, everybody won! Everybody did win. All right. So, it's 6:50 with Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. And we are prefacing this with, because we understand and appreciate the passion of Blitz Nation, we are not bringing this up to start a political discussion. We do not, the three of us all just concurred during Papa Roach. None of us want to partake in a political discussion. If you're passionate, that's fantastic. Appreciate your passion. But we're not responding. We're not turning this into politics at all.
But we do have to talk about what's going around.
But this is another reason why I have been anti every time you guys bring up AI. Who's the first person to raise their hand about how bad of an idea AI is?
You.
Thank you. Here's one more reason to pile on with that. And this has been going on for a few days now. Basically, for as politically divided as we all are, when people ask their Alexa why they should vote for Kamala Harris, she would gush. One example, she's, quote, a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. Alexa also noted that Harris has broken down gender barriers, but if you ask the same questions on Trump, it said, I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or specific candidate. So basically, Alexa was caught being biased towards Kamala Harris and complimenting while kind of trashing the other side. Amazon said this was an error that was quickly fixed.
How does that error happen?
And because that is where we will leave it.
Well, if you asked it, if you said, why should I vote for Trump, it said it can't comment.
Right.
But if you ask it, why should I not vote for Trump, it would give you all kinds of reasons.
Right.
And if you ask it why you should not vote for Kamala, it would say, I can't comment.
This is one more reason why you don't want AI in your life as much as you think you do. Because now there's somebody, well, I'm getting rid of my Amazon now. We're going with Sonos. Well, it's your choice. That's fine.
But for them to say it's an error...
It's an error in judgment.
Is that what it is? That the error was the error in judgment for them to... Because it had to have been set up that way.
Well,
right?
Senator Lindsey Graham sent a letter to Amazon and basically said, you are interfering in the election at this point, and we will keep our eye on you. This is a warning.
I don't know if can you call that interference, though?
I think so.
I don't know who
I'm just
votes
asking.
based on what Alexa says.
You. That is why I'm asking
I
if
really
you can
don't.
call that interference.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Wow,
This
you'd
is
be
just,
surprised.
It is a little bit, if we're honest, of a media stunt, I think.
Sure.
It's like, oh, look what's happening. But I don't know that anybody's sitting around saying, well, I don't know what to do. Let me ask Alexa. Am I wrong about that?
I think... But elections for years have played on the dumb. Like it really has.
But it shouldn't happen.
You're
I mean,
right,
this
1000%.
should not happen with Alexa. That's absolutely insane.
There's nothing right about this. Your smart speaker should be biased and answer, hey, Alexa, what's the weather in Phoenix right now? And I'm sorry if I just set somebody's Alexa off by saying that. But that's what Alexa should be for. Whenever Alexa goes, hey, have you checked your Amazon cart lately? Just tell me to purchase it. No, I don't want you buying things for me. I don't want you reading my email. I don't want you to do any of that. I want you to play songs for me and tell me the weather when I ask and set an alarm so I get out of bed at a decent hour in the morning.
Get this.
Yeah.
Maybe what Alexa's job is to collect the data of the people who are asking about why they should vote for Trump, and you're going on a list somewhere.
Right. No, this is AI. AI is AI will be corrupted, which is why you don't want it in your life. And again, we were just talking about Zuckerberg. Mark should have just kept his profile what it should have been all along, which was bias or unbiased, and left it at that. And then you wouldn't be stepping in it and flip-flopping and reversing your opinion on things.
Now, with the Zuckerberg thing, and I don't have all the details, but didn't he testify before Congress that he did not, that was not happening, and now he admits it was happening?
Yes.
Like, can't you go to jail for that?
That's perjury.
But if he would have just kept everything... Again, you opened up the social media where you let everybody have a voice, even though there are some people that probably shouldn't. You stepped in that yourself.
I like everyone having a voice. Let's absolutely...
Well, did he deny being pressured by the government?
He denied a bunch of things and then flip-flopped on both of it. So it's just one of those things where, if you would have just let everybody have... you can't censor... where I do disagree... You cannot censor one side and not censor the other. That's not fair. But I also understand, and this goes back to the pandemic stuff. I get what they were trying to do, and I know Rick and I have had this conversation off the air a couple of times. I get what they tried to do, but they went about it through the wrong means. They tried to control the narrative so you could ensure that people felt a sense of safety and a sense of whatever, which was maybe there was some good intention behind that. I don't know. But the method that you went about doing it was completely wrong. And that's where you get into trouble. But anyway, that's where we're leaving this, because this is not going to turn into a political discussion. And we think that Alexa is wrong, because you should be able to ask questions about both sides, and your smart speaker and your AI should be biased or unbiased and not in your life at all.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
The Georgia community is in mourning after 2 students and 2 teachers were killed in a shooting at Appalachia High School yesterday. Another 9 victims were taken to hospital with injuries. All are expected to survive. The suspect, 14-year-old Colt Gray, is in custody and will be tried as an adult. The victims are 2 14-year-old students, Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angula, and 2 math teachers, 39-year-old Richard Aspinwall, who was also a football coach, and 53-year-old Christina Irami. Of the 9 injured, 8 are students, 1 is a teacher and the school's golf coach. Authorities say they were first received a 911 call yesterday morning about an active shooter. Law enforcement arrived shortly after and joined the 2 school resource officers. One of those resource officers confronted Colt Gray, who got down on the ground and was taken into custody. Deputies say Gray used an AR platform weapon. They do not have any other details on how it was in the possession of the 14-year-old. They're also not clear yet on how the weapon was brought into the school. The only thing they have said so far about the background of this kid is that they do know and are looking into contact that this suspect, Colt Gray, and his family had, I guess, some previous contact with the Department of Family and Children's Services in the state. They did make clear at last night's press conference that in the initial identification of the 14-year-old shooter, there was some confusion because there are 2 students at the school with similar names. One is Colton Gray, and the other is Colt Gray. And apparently Colton Gray was named. That's not the kid.
Oh, my gosh.
Colt Gray is the kid.
What
so
a mess that is.
That's, quite a, they absolutely made that crystal clear last night that there are 2 kids with similar names, but Colt Gray is the suspect.
Oh, my God. Both of those poor families.
Oh, gosh. I mean, just awful. Awful. Well, moving on from that, did you guys, I don't know if you're tennis fans at all, but there is a tennis player who played this past weekend in the U.S. Open. Her name is Yulia Putintseva, and she has had to come out and apologize for how she treated a ball girl during her U.S. Open match on Saturday, I think. This video is nuts, you guys. Absolutely freaking nuts. This tennis player, I don't know who she thinks she is, and neither does Boris Becker. That's what he posted online. But apparently, so she's in her match, which she loses. But the ball girl collects 3 tennis balls, and there's video of this. She walks up to Yulia. She's maybe 6 feet away from her, and tosses her the first ball. Yulia refuses to catch it. Arms at her side, lets the ball hit her, and it rolls away. Second ball. The girl's like, are you gonna, what, I'm throwing the ball to you, throws it, lets it hit her, it rolls away. The crowd starts booing. because this is like a D move. Absolutely rude to this ball girl. So this crowd starts booing, and that's when Yulia decides, I better catch this third one because I'm being a total dick right now. Anyway, Boris Becker shared this video online. It says, who does she think she is? Terrible behavior towards the ball girl. Anyway, other people piled on. She got absolutely hammered online. Oh, man. So she came out and didn't quite apologize. She's like, I was deep in thought. I didn't notice the ball girl throwing balls. I'm like, bro, they hit you. Of course you noticed. You are just being a total jerk here. But she says, I'm going to make it right to her. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to do something nice for the ball girl to make up for what happened. But anyway, you got to see this video, you guys. It's nuts. You look at somebody and you think that person needs to be suspended for that behavior on the court.
The lesson learned here, if you got a ball girl, if you're lucky enough to have a ball girl who handles those balls, you treat her well.
Those are your 3 things.
Or 2.
Dead bitch.
Yeah, really.
Yes! Thank you.
Scott Smack on the Morning Blitz with Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Good morning.
What up?
Nothing. It's a fine little Thursday morning.
How's it feel to have someone not say good morning to you? This is a long-running thing already this morning, is that I come in every morning, literally come in 6 a.m., whatever, walk in the door to the studio, and I say, good morning. And Thick Rick always goes, good morning. How are you? How's it going today? And Lewis is, literally not even a grunt. Not even a grunt, not a glance to the side to look at me and acknowledge me. It is absolute face and phone, not communicating at all, which I've come to love about him because he knows his limits. He's not in any mood at that point to communicate with me, so he doesn't, and I respect it, honestly. And I tell you truly, I don't. It doesn't bother me, but it did. In fact, I used to want to go, hello, but
some people call that Bucyrus hospitality.
Oh, did you learn that in your travels through Bucyrus?
I did.
But anyway, I love you, Lewis. It doesn't bother me, but
right back at you, KQ.
Immature. The man's immature, you know.
That he is. We would all agree that, and a lot of it might have to do with the, endless construction that seems to go on. I feel like if you're in Columbus, you feel like it's rush hour all day if you're on the highway. Right?
Anywhere.
Right?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Cemetery Road, always
Sawmill
congested.
Road sucks.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Refugee Road, always congested.
Grove City, man.
But I will say it does get worse on the freeways during the actual rush hours.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's a study that says fewer people now that commute between 9 and 5 because of the flexible work or hybrid work situation. Your wife has one of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's made the midday rush hour worse than ever, and now rush hour is kind of like an all-day thing because there's not just a set time. It used to be, okay, you knew from between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. it was going to be hectic, but then it lightened up for a while. They're saying that's not necessarily the case now.
You know what absolutely blows is when they improved, in air quotes, 23 on the north side.
You mean getting off at 270?
270 and 23 all the way north into Delaware.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yep.
Traffic is horrible.
Yep.
Always.
Except for that little underpath part there, right when you first get on 23 from 270.
Yeah, have fun when there's a wreck under there, too.
I can't even imagine.
Are you guys a fan of all the roundabouts that they put in places?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys are? Okay.
Yeah.
I like a roundabout.
Yep.
Do you?
I didn't like them at first, but
I thought they just were like snotty Dublin or New Albany things, but no, they really work.
They do. Yep. If you know how to use it. Not everybody knows quite how to use
Now,
them.
we're learning in Johnstown. There is some confusion. They are putting roundabouts in for Intel, so there has been some tussles in the roundabout, but those things get worked out really quickly.
Are you pissed off at an inconsiderate Richard of a coworker that shall go unnamed, starts with Lou and ends with us? Warforyou.com.
I spoke to Joyce in the morning. I spoke to Joyce at night. I spoke to Joyce in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. I spoke to Joyce at time of peace.
Only 2? It's the Morning Blitz. Thick, Kelly, Lewis, 722. You might be shocked, Rick.
Oh, I'm not.
Marijuana use on the rise.
Especially when it's studies coming from the University of Michigan.
Well, it's been on the rise there for a couple of years
That's
now.
what I mean. I mean, you legalize it, of course. Now, I do wonder if you took a survey, somebody was doing a survey 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and was going around asking people if they smoked marijuana, would they all be honest? Would they, when it was illegal, would they have all admitted it? Are there people admitting it now that it's legal that wouldn't have before? I kind of think that would be a thing.
Well, with it being legal, it's like cigarettes. You're not...
Or alcohol, yeah. I mean...
It's not like something you gotta... Hey, let's go behind the house and smoke up.
Right. No, dispensaries are now like liquor stores. So you go in, you show your ID, you tell them what you want.
So you don't have to do,
Right. You don't have to hide anything.
No.
Yeah, so a new survey shows the use of cannabis among young adults is at historically high levels.
Especially waking and baking. Did you see that part of it? Waking and baking for young adults is higher than ever now.
I did not see that.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, and I can't do that.
I can't do that either. I've never been...
I mean, I'm a lightweight anyway.
Well, I don't need to be calm in the morning. Like, I need the adrenaline kick. So I can move and function.
Oh, you should try sativa, not indica.
No, I just mean... No, I don't need anything. But I'm also not a caffeine person in the morning either. Like, I don't get up and, I gotta have that cup of coffee. Whatever. Good for you if you do. I don't. I gotta just go. Body kicks in naturally.
Yeah.
Does it, though? Because you've been yawning all morning.
And
yawned one time!
And not saying good morning.
I yawned one time.
He just sat here and said he doesn't say good morning because he's got to wake up. Now he says his body kicks in.
Guys, sometimes I bore myself, okay?
So they're saying that the young adults are waking and baking because it's a way they cope with anxiety as they start their day.
Man.
That they have too much anxiety to walk through their day without wake and bake.
So now you've created yourself a dependency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
But I think there are people that will get high on their own by themselves in their everyday life. And then there are also those people who are just social about it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I think
I'll partake in both.
I feel like, if you're going to wake and bake to start your day, then you're going to just keep using probably throughout the day. So that's going to increase.
Sure.
Yeah, 42% of adults 19 to 30 report using cannabis. About 10% say they use it every day.
But I also think there are people who just have a couple of cups of coffee in the morning and then they never touch it the rest of the day. Then there are those other people that gravitate from coffee.
Oh, well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. I would never touch it after that. I don't touch it.
But then there are other people that get it in the morning. Oh, I got to go get a Starbucks at lunch.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
do it
stop
all
on the
day
way
long.
home.
Yeah. You're right.
So I think it just depends on how you as an individual are.
Now, there was a first in this survey. First time they have had this result. More women are using cannabis than men now. So, thought that was interesting. And these results are very similar to a 2022 survey, which showed historically high levels of cannabis use. But it has gone up a little more now. So, I did get a big kick out of this, though. A new study from UC San Diego says frequent cannabis use can result in people not showing up for work.
Right?
I think that's about your personality.
I think it's too. Taylor says I have my coffee and my canna every morning.
Oh,
and
is that
some
right?
people do. It's better than that. Now I will say this. There are those people that have a chronic pain. And I didn't see on the text wall who brought this up. But if you've got a lot of chronic pain, back, knees, whatever, and you're using it for that, I get that.
See, and I and maybe it does work for some people, but I've never noticed marijuana helping with pain. Honestly,
a lot of cancer patients before it was legal. A lot of cancer patients used it.
Yes, for the chemo because it makes you nauseous.
Yes,
and marijuana will cure that.
Yes.
But I'm talking about joint pain. I've never gotten any kind of relief.
But there are a lot of
ache or pain.
There are a lot of NFL players who their reason for using marijuana was because it helped with pain management.
Yeah, and they say it's very good at helping with recovery from concussions.
Right.
So
if I
can see
wanted to
that.
smoke weed all day, every day, I would find some reason that legitimized it.
Right.
Rather than the fact that I just wanted to be high all day. I'd be like, well,
You gotta justify it.
It really hurts. It helps my back. It helps my back.
You got disc number 7 and disc number 12 been thrown out of whack. I smoked this, feel better.
When most people, I think you just want to be high, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that? It's just the experience. Yeah. You like the experience and you want to be experiencing it. And we can't just admit that. You don't have to tell me it's because you have nausea. I don't care. You can be high if you want.
Well, now that it's, recreationally legal, I think people will be fine with saying, yeah, I just like it. They don't need it for an excuse anymore.
Rebecca asked the question, how does doing a wake and bake to deal with anxiety any different than popping prescription meds to deal with the same issues?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I guess if it works.
Neither one of them eliminate the problem.
No, you're masking
Nothing
it.
does.
You're
Yes,
masking
exactly.
it. But I do think that the fact that marijuana is more natural, maybe there are people that are going, wait a minute, this is more earth-grown solution as opposed to more scientifically developed solution. Maybe there's that. I don't know.
Dumb question that you guys, I hope, know the answer to. I just never paid attention. Does insurance cover marijuana?
Now?
Do you do a copay when you go into a dispensary and you've got a medical card?
medicinally?
Is it
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. Somebody does. Hey, Blitz Nation, help us out on this one. I don't know. I've never had to use it, but I would imagine if it's legal now, could that be something that does eventually?
Well, maybe it depends on if you're
on your sitch.
Because you're federal there. They haven't changed, right?
Yeah, it's going to here very soon. It's about to be.
Does that impact insurance?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Taylor says she has a med card for endometriosis. So I don't know. I mean, that's a good question now that it's legal.
Yeah, I've heard it helps a lot with endometriosis. A lot, because my friend's sister has that, and he gets it for her because of that.
Yeah. Smoke if you got it, if you want it. It's your choice.
Well, you can, before it was recreationally legal, when it was medicinally legal, like I've always said, there's 5 places just in Grandview alone where you could go, and if you have $250, you can get a medicinal card, no matter what. I got pain, I need a card. $250 to get a card, that's it.
Everybody's saying medical card users only get a discount. They don't get the free weed. Insurance doesn't cover because it's still federally illegal.
Okay.
So it's a state-by-state basis. That makes sense.
We got a text from somebody who I love. I absolutely love you. Please send me your name. Who said, I just want to be high. It does nothing for my anxiety.
Some people fell on black days sooner than others. Some people still haven't got off the black days they fell on. Think about it. It'll make sense. Soundgarden on the Morning Blitz, 739, Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. That was a song you were listening toward, by the way, for tickets to our sold-out Avatar show on September 11th. That's next week. Congratulations.
That would be James McGill from Marion. Said he's going to take his son, and they have the same taste in music. And I always said concerts are a great bonding experience with your kids.
A little bonding time?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Absolutely. A lot of things happen at concerts.
Yes.
Including breakups.
They do.
While it also can be a time to bring people together, it can cause some distrust and tear people apart. Corey Taylor's wife, Alicia, went scorched earth on a chick because she claims this chick tried to steal her man.
Uh-oh.
Said the woman also tried to wreck homes in the Blink 182, Seven Dust, and Creed camps.
Is she a...
That's a very odd collective of
she
camps.
A groupie?
Here's the thing. If your man's not available to steal, then you have nothing to worry about. So this is what I wonder. What is your relationship with Corey Taylor, wifey? Why do you not trust your husband around this woman? That's the real issue. But a lot of women tend to like to blame the other women for the problems, when actually you should turn your head toward your husband and say, why don't I trust you around this woman? That is that is what I will put forward.
What did she say?
The supposed offender is a name named Violet Mayugba. I don't know how. Yeah, Mayugba. Why? Why are you laughing at Violet's name? She didn't choose it?
It was like just a complete guess on your part of how to pronounce it.
Well, damn right it was. She's in a punk band called Destroy Boys.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Okay. Alicia calls her a homewrecker, a garbage eater. And has accused her of doing this to so many other couples. According to Alicia, Violet went right after Corey Taylor, knowing he was married.
Dead bitch.
And when he told her nothing was going to happen, she replied, "We'll see about that."
Oh.
Violet even supposedly put her phone number in Taylor's kid's iPad so she could stay close.
What?
She also told Corey that Alicia was ugly and couldn't understand why he'd want to be with her. Alicia also claims that Violet tried to worm her way into Blink-182, Sevendust, and Creed in similar fashion. Alicia also says Violet's rich mommy and daddy sent her a cease and desist order so she wouldn't have to talk about all this. Alicia has obviously decided to ignore it.
Wait, the girl's mother and father sent the cease and desist to Corey's wife?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
The fact remains.
Yep.
That if your man is not available to be stolen, then you don't have anything to worry about. So I think that you do worry about your husband. You are worried about Corey Taylor. You're worried about what he's going to do with this woman who's really, really shoving herself in his face. Like, my husband wouldn't do anything. I would absolutely never have to confront the situation. It would have been handled by my husband. But if you're worried here, Alicia, you need to turn your head toward your husband and work this out.
Well, Corey said nothing was going to happen, and she said, we'll see about that.
Well, then they need to work this out together. That's all I'm saying. She doesn't trust him. That's why she's so freaked out about it.
Is that the case, though?
Yes, it's the case.
Well, that's not what she's saying. I think she's trying to expose this girl.
I see both sides of this.
What do you care when there's no threat?
Because sometimes, I see this on both sides. I see what you're saying about the husband should step up. Actually, let's come back and get into this. And Blitz Nation, we want to know, how did someone try to break up your relationship? Because this type of thing isn't necessarily held to celebrity. I hear your zipper.
No, but listen, a hoe is a hoe. A hoe is a hoe. You're not going to change her by calling her out.
Why are you calling her a garden utensil?
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
Right. Anyway, Kelly's right, but I think Corey Taylor might also be right, too. Has anyone ever tried to break up your relationship? It's your Morning Blitz, 747, Thick Rick, Kelly, Quinn, and Lewis talking about this Corey Taylor and his wife. She basically is calling out another girl for trying to steal her man, and not just Corey Taylor, but also trying to do this to Blink-182, Sevendust, and Creed.
Oh, she's just taking on the world, isn't she?
Yeah, hi.
The defender of husbands everywhere.
Clearly she has a thing for late 90s bands.
So Kelly's not buying any of this.
You're not.
The only thing I'm saying is that I guess I don't have time for the dramatic. So I'm saying, if this woman is close enough to Corey Taylor to be able to be using his kid's iPad to put her phone number in, which is a weird angle
Very
of this
weird.
to me.
Okay.
Corey could be taking care of the situation, saying, hey, listen, man, this is not appropriate, or I don't want you using my kid, or what. This shouldn't be happening. The situation should never have gotten this far to where his now dramatic wife is having to confront this woman online. Like, to me, it's just, this is silliness. This is something you can handle with your husband. Say, hey, man, what is up with this? This is making me uncomfortable. Can you kind of handle this? Or whatever. But instead, she wants to call her out. Go ahead. You do your drama. That's fine. I can't get into that. I'm saying the situation could have been handled long before this.
Blaine said the iPad crosses a line, for sure. But I will say, I think you're right. But I also think that I could see where Corey Taylor would be right, too. And I say that from personal experience. So, I've been paparazzi'd twice. One time was absolutely brutal. And I mean, this chick went as far as to take stuff out of context from various messages and put them back together to make it look like I said something that I didn't say. That was brutal. And that was a pit to climb out of, let me tell you. The first time I got paparazzi'd, I was dating a girl, and I'll never forget, because I was at a Three Doors Down concert. I was on the floor of a Three Doors Down concert, and I got home and I was getting blown up. My friends saw you. Saw me do what? You were making out with some girl on the floor of a three-door. No, I wasn't. So when the friends finally produced the picture, it was the girl that worked for the record label that I was talking to, and I had leaned in because we were on the floor of a concert. We were having a conversation. I was talking, so my mouth was like whispering into her ear. That's what it was. But they turned that into, you were making out with some girl on the floor. No, I was not. But, so there is that, and that kind of stuff does happen. Now, was I in a position where I made myself look bad? Absolutely. But it wasn't with intent. I was at a Stain, I'm name dropping left and right, and I'm sorry. I was at a Stain meet and greet with Aaron Lewis and a girl in the line for the meet and greet. And I remember my jaw hit the floor. A girl in line for the meet and greet asked Aaron Lewis to sign her boobs, and they were nice. And he said, "Are you kidding me? Are you effing kidding me?" And he stood up. He's like, "Do you realize what you're doing? You just disrespected yourself, me, and my wife. Get the F out of here." And kicked her out of the meet and greet. So, you know.
Yeah.
It does happen both ways.
Yeah, I mean, was this woman in Corey Taylor's home where his child's iPad was? Like, I can't figure out the situation here.
I'm thinking their band was one of the openers, because she's in this band, this Destroy Boys band. So I'm guessing they, were playing when Slipknot or when Corey was playing or something like that. Festival,
and the
maybe.
kid's iPad was just hanging out?
I don't know. I don't know if he's got his kid on tour with him at some point. Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea how I would love to know how she got to his son's iPad.
Dan Davidson is taking issue with me not liking drama. Now listen, I don't want to be involved in the drama. I love drama that's happening outside of me, except this kind of annoys me for some reason. But yeah, I don't like to be in drama, so I'm not going to handle this in public with the other person. I'm going to talk to my husband and say, "Hey, could you take care of this for me? I feel like this woman's really, she's really trying hard here, and it's starting to annoy me."
So is Becky. Becky said, "I've tried to break up with my boyfriend multiple times because I have squirrel moments. But he keeps saying we aren't breaking up because he knew I was crazy when he got with me." So your crazy matches his crazy.
All right, we got another one here. I'm not supposed to say the name, so just read it. When I started dating my wife, my ex-girlfriend was still calling me all the time. If I was with my wife, I wouldn't answer the calls from the ex. If I was alone, I would answer the calls and tell her to leave me alone. My ex-girlfriend kept track of all the times I was with my wife and when I was not. Later, she sent my wife a letter detailing all the times and dates I wasn't with my wife and said that I was with the ex cheating on my wife at the time. It was pretty terrible, but fortunately got a few of the dates and times wrong, so she was invalid in her letter, and my wife and I have been happily married for about 20 years now, and the story has become a joke to laugh at.
Okay.
So that's good.
Let me ask you this, Alicia. Is Alicia the wife?
Yeah.
Alicia, what was the beginning of your relationship with Corey? Was he still involved with somebody else when you began your relationship with him? Because if you cheated with him and now you have him as your husband, you are never going to trust him. That is my question. My question is, how did their relationship start? If it started in a sort of a cheating way, then I can see why she's so up in arms.
Dan Davidson says Aaron Lewis sounds like a real Richard. He's volatile. It depends on the day. Truth. You're right about that, Kelby. You know what's funny? Gavin Rosdale's played a role in my life for a while. He was with someone else, and she caught him with Gwen Stefani. So years later, Gwen Stefani divorces Gavin Rosdale for cheating. You kind of should have saw that coming.
Yeah.
You were the other side of that coin at one point in time.
Well, if he'll cheat with you, he'll cheat with someone else,
That's
right?
not true.
Could be. Doug says, I had a neighbor who was an older gentleman that paid my wife to help him out because he had had a surgery, which was fine, but then he became infatuated with her and basically became a stalker. He called Children's Services on us twice to try to get our kid taken away.
Jeez.
And he wrote a letter to my job trying to get me fired. I actually had to pull a gun on him one time.
Oh, my God.
He has since moved to Ireland.
Right. Apparently, Corey's son plays in a band called Vended.
Yes. Oh, it was that. Oh, I thought it was like a younger kid.
So it's the older son.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they're on tour all the time now. I saw them for the first time at not this past Sonic Temple, but last year's.
I forget how old Corey Taylor is.
3. Yeah. Yeah, he's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
So maybe this girl wanted to get with Corey's son. That's why the number is in the iPad.
You're not taking my man or his son.
Yeah, but Alicia is saying that She put the number in that iPad so that Corey would have it. But I don't, like trying to just stay close to him or something.
Well, if we've learned anything this morning is relationships drama doesn't just happen to celebrities.
Nope.
And now, all right, listener. 3 things you need to know before you go.
With less than a week until the September 10th presidential debate between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, ABC News has released the rules. It'll be 90 minutes, 2 commercial breaks. Campaign staff may not interact with the candidates during those commercial breaks. There will be no audience. Microphones will be live only for the candidate whose turn it is to speak. Candidates will stand behind podiums, and no props or pre-written notes will be allowed on stage. Each candidate will be given a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water. The debate will be held in Philadelphia and will be moderated by David Muir and Lindsay Davis of ABC. A coin flip was held virtually on Tuesday to determine the podium placement and the order of closing statements. So Donald Trump won that coin toss. So he decided that he wanted to select the order of closing statements. He's choosing to go last. So Kamala Harris was then allowed to choose which podium she wanted, and she will be on the right podium as you're looking at the television.
Is that big a deal that they have to flip a coin about that?
Yeah, I think so.
The podium?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Rather than, people accusing everyone of getting the better podium or whatever, would come out of that in terms of, ABC News is pro Kamala. They gave her the good podium. They got to flip a coin and they choose.
Look, hers is gold. Trump's is some old wood. So. I didn't know it was that big a deal which podium you stood at.
You said wood.
All right, this is really just a horrifying story, but Ugandan Olympic athlete Rebecca Cheptegei has died at a Kenyan hospital. Now listen, she just ran in the Olympics in Paris end of July. She's dead now because her boyfriend poured gasoline all over her and lit her on fire. So this happened over the weekend. Apparently her partner, Dixon Nadima, bought a can of gasoline, poured it all over her, set her on fire during a disagreement on Sunday. She died yesterday after her organs failed. And he was also burned, I think 30% of his body. He is being treated at the hospital and he is getting better. So I'm assuming he'll be charged at some point. But again, Cheptegei just competed in the Paris Olympics. Super sad end to her story. 33 years old. Well, a fresh hospital lawsuit is accusing a Florida surgeon of mistakenly removing a man's liver instead of his spleen, causing him to bleed out on the operating table. So the patient, 70-year-old William Bryan, had surgery on August 21st at a hospital in Miramar, Florida. He was having a lot of pain, and the surgeon and the hospital's chief medical officer determined that he did need a splenectomy. And in fact, when they're like, well, we're going to go home, they don't live in Florida. And they said, we're going to go home. And they're like, no, this is an emergency. You need this surgery right now. So they're like, okay, well, if it's an emergency, I will. The surgeon, Dr. Thomas Shaknovsky, performed a hand-assisted laparoscopic splenectomy, but rather than removing the spleen, he somehow confused it with the liver.
Wow.
Removed the liver, resulting in catastrophic blood loss. So an investigation is underway, especially since the spleen and the liver are on opposite sides of the abdomen. I guess that's just not done. You don't confuse those. One's on one side, the other's on the other.
That career is over.
Woof. Those are your 3 things.
Mid-Salica on the Morning Blitz. It's 8:11 with Vic, Kelly, and Lewis. Coming up, NFL security. A lot of people complaining about this in Brazil. We'll touch on that since it is the kickoff of the NFL tonight. But, Kelly, you weren't here at Christmas in July, so you did not get the chance to meet Chaplain Otto. Rick did.
Yeah, cool dude.
Great dude. He's a guy, I got kind of hooked up with him a little while ago. He does anger management classes for incarcerated veterans. And he donated a big chunk of toys and stuff to our cause.
Nice.
On Christmas in July. But him and his wife are just 2 genuinely good human beings. But they did a really cool prison run because there are a lot. I had no idea how many veterans were incarcerated until I saw this. But the Fraternal Order of Eagles in Columbus yesterday donated $8,000 to Chaplain Otto's ministry to support the continuation They provide anger management classes for incarcerated veterans and general population residents, teaching them how to manage and control PTSD, anger, substance abuse, and suicidal thoughts. They've got a nationally approved 12-week anger management course, and Chaplain Otto goes to various prisons and teaches these classes and does a lot of work with veterans and everything else.
Okay, so I thought you were saying like Chaplain Automobile, but this is a guy's named Otto, and he's a chaplain.
Yeah.
Otto.
Gotcha.
OTTO.
That's very cool. Wow, what a service.
Yeah, but a very, very good and deserving individual that does a lot of work locally for some people that would normally be discarded. So it's nice to see stuff like that happen. And he's a good guy. You always like the good guys to get ahead.
There is good out there.
Just gotta look hard. Gotta look hard. It's the Morning Blitz. May 22, Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. NFL kicks off tonight. Ravens go on the road to take on the Chiefs. Do the Browns on the road to start this weekend, or are they playing at home at Fuji Spa Stadium?
What did you call it?
They got a new name. It's Fuji Spa Stadium, right?
Fuji Spa.
Yeah, you're home for Deshaun Watson.
Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
Although I don't know that
they will
team
be at home when they lose to my Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know that
Sunday.
the Browns have ever necessarily been part of a happy ending, though. So, maybe the name doesn't necessarily fit.
Yeah, back in the 50s, they won some titles with Jim Brown.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So, game tonight, great, awesome. That's, the NFL always opens the season at the Super Bowl champions home on Thursday night. But we have something different this year on Friday night. Tomorrow night, there is an NFL game. First Friday night game. It's not going to be every week. This was just to open the season. And this one's down in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. They're playing at the Corinthians Arena, which is like legendary soccer stadium.
Okay.
Down there. Okay. And Sao Paulo officials announced yesterday that civil and military police will be increased around the stadium when the teams play tomorrow night. But the NFL strongly advised the teams to stay in their hotels and definitely do not walk around on the street with a phone in your hand. Well, the players were like, well, where are we? What are we doing here? And they're very concerned now about even suiting up for the game.
Don't they behead referees?
I mean, well, I remember when they had the Olympics down there. I'm like, why are they having the Olympics there? There were body parts that washed up on the beach down there during the Olympics.
I think that happens in California pretty often.
It might. I don't know.
I would say that... Oh, my thought just left me. But anyway, all I'm saying is I feel like those same rules would apply to New York City. Like, people are always getting their phones stolen in New York City.
Well...
But also, we don't have, like, drug lords and stuff, or what are they doing in Brazil?
They got, cartel, gangs, all that kind of stuff. But at
the soccer games, don't they, like, haven't they beheaded, like, referees and stuff? Was that in Brazil, or was that somewhere else?
There's some places that have, threatened or even, attacked referees, for sure. But in 2023, Brazil was named the 17th most dangerous country in the world. So my question is, is it Roger Goodell? He went, they're the 17th most dangerous country in the world. Let's play a game there. Why would you have a game down there? Why would you send our NFL players taking a game away from the home team? I don't know which one of them is losing their home game, whether it's the Packers or the Eagles, but their fans are going to lose a home game because of this. And we're sending them to the 17th most dangerous country in the world to play a football game.
Because
Why?
They want to be international.
Oh, so it's because money, of course.
Yeah.
So we'll risk the lives of Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love and everybody else on the Packers and Eagles to make a couple extra dollars because the NFL doesn't have enough money.
Hey, listen, I think we're okay because back in 2013. Here's what happened. The soccer spectators in northern Brazil decapitated a referee. Why? Because the referee stabbed a player for refusing to leave the pitch.
Oh, see, this is how bad it is in Brazil.
I think we're going to be okay because we're not going to have a referee on during the football game that's going to stab anybody. So I think we're going to be all right here.
Perhaps
everybody's going to be fine, safe. They're going to have a ton of security. There's going to be no problem.
Perhaps the teams can, if the game doesn't go the way they want, perhaps the teams can each send a representative out for a street race like they do in Brazil and get behind their car with a little NOS in it and settle it that way on the open road.
It's just, I mean, look, how much money do you need? We just found out, one team is worth $10 billion. And you got to go make a few extra bucks by playing a game in Brazil. And how does playing a game in Brazil make you that much extra money anyway?
If you had a chance to go to Sao Paulo, Brazil, though, wouldn't you want to?
To the 17th most dangerous country in the world?
It's Brazil.
What's 1 through 16? And let me see if any of those are any tourist attractions. I don't know. Brazil's isn't it like Rio and all that?
Yeah, look.
Yeah, I can stop at Aruba and get the same kind of beach. I don't need to go down there.
There's places in the go that I would like to go that are very dangerous for Americans. So, but I would still
where?
Like to
Why?
Go. I don't know if you know this or not. Egypt, not the safest place. But I
do know that actually.
I'd sure as hell like to see the pyramids.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen them in the Transformers movies enough. I'm good.
Where do they have the big statue of Jesus? Is that in Brazil?
That's in Brazil.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I remember it went down in what was the movie?
Fast and Furious. All 7 of them.
Huh?
So that'd be cool.
They hide
Christ
out in
the
Brazil.
Redeemer. That's what it is. That's in Rio.
Dominic Toretto hides out in Brazil. In fact, he gives a whole village cable so they can watch a soccer game.
Oh, the movie 2012. That's when the big statue down there went down.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a money grab for the NFL. I mean, the Jaguars are going to be the London Jaguars in another couple of years.
Well, and that's fine. Then you'll have a team over there. Then that's one thing. But why just this one-off game in Brazil and then you're telling them, don't leave your hotel? Why are you sending me there? You're going to tell me I can't even walk out of my hotel.
Well, you've had players that told their family not to come on the trip.
I understand.
I mean, what hotel are they staying at? It might be pretty nice. Like you don't want to leave because it's
like a
so
resort.
cool.
Absolutely, everything is right there. 8:39 on the Morning Blitz with Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn. I'm Lewis. On a Thursday where hot today. We're up to like 87, what is it, 87, 88 today? 89. Yeah.
I noticed you haven't changed the settings on my rental car yet, Lewis.
I thought about that last night. I'm
Doors
sorry.
are open.
I'm sorry.
I need you to fix the bright situation on this rental car
I'll
and
watch a couple of YouTube videos, help you out.
The thing, whatever's taking control of my steering wheel and dragging me back into the lane.
Your lane assist?
My lane assist.
Maybe it's trying to keep you from hitting things.
Well, I'd rather just
Hit
drive
things?
my own car. You know what I mean? I don't need, what do I have again? It's not a...
Lane assist?
No. What kind
Toyota?
of... A Toyota? I don't need Toyota driving my car for me. Can we do that during the next break? Will you help me?
Of course I will.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Get out the video.
I'll take the phone with me. Got Wi-Fi in the parking lot. So I got a lot of life situation.
Oh, it's story time. Wait, let me
going
my
on
chair here.
And I'm trying to adjust accordingly to certain things. So I started looking for options. And I thought, well, maybe, for a while until I figure some things out, just renting a room would be the way to go. I'm just kind of tossing some ideas around, right?
Yeah, you're still commuting from Dayton.
Correct.
You're kind of like, let's get a room in Columbus and see what happens.
And then figure things out from there, just, for time purposes. So I find this thing online, and not Craigslist. I do not trust Craigslist. Like, Craigslist is the biggest, walking scam thing going, or so I thought. So I get on Facebook Marketplace. Not that is much more reputable by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the majority of people would feel a little bit better about Marketplace.
Because you can't be anonymous on Facebook. Correct. You can on Craigslist.
Correct. So I see this place. It's in a luxury apartment, and they're renting out they want to rent out the master bedroom with the attached bathroom.
Okay.
And the way checks a lot of boxes. Quiet, looking for a young professional, must be clean, blah, 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 blah. One room, attached bathroom, $500. So I'm like, this is too good to be true, but let's go take a look at it and see because, maybe person travels a lot, just wants someone there, da-da-da. So I get there.
Okay, can you narrow down where you don't want to say? It's somewhere in town.
It's less than 5 minutes away from where we are sitting right now.
Great, gotcha.
So, as I go there, I drive in. I'm like, nice complex. I like it. In fact, I would even consider getting a place there. But I drive in. The guy gives me directions I show up, knock on the door. He's there, shake hands, introduce. He doesn't let me get very far into the apartment, which, okay, that's fine. So that's kind of phase one. I'm like, and there's no furniture anywhere. Like, no furniture in the living room, nothing. There's like some pots and pans in the kitchen. He's like, this is the kitchen, shared kitchen, da-da-da-da. So I didn't get very far from the foyer into the living room. And guy goes, this is the room, and points at the room, which is the master bed. And in it has, I believe, there was a bed frame and a desk sitting in it. And then the bathroom is attached to it and off it, and a giant walk-in closet. So I look at it and I go, okay, he starts talking to me, and he starts asking me questions. So I answer the questions as to why or whatever. And, why don't you just get your own place? I'm like, well, because I'm not sure where. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that are up in the air. I just want a place that, I can quiet, I can work. I work early in the morning, so I'm not going to be a loud party guy. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. And he's like, by yourself? I'm like, yeah, just me. Okay. Then if you're not going to share, $1,000 plus utilities. So I'm like,
what?
Thank you. So I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, it was going to be $500 per person, minimum of 2 people moving into that.
That's what I didn't understand.
Bedroom?
I'm like, he starts asking me questions. He's like, you have girlfriend or boyfriend? Or he starts asking me all these questions. And I said, no, it's just me. And he's like, okay, just you, $1,000 plus utilities. I'm like, so if I were going to share, you wanted me to share this room with some random person I don't know? Or you want me to move in with my significant other for whatever reason I don't know? But how'd the price go from $500 to $1,000 plus utilities? I'm like, dude, for that I'll just get my own place. Well, they start here at $1,400. Great, good for here. I'm like, but you advertise one thing and then you say another, and what does it matter if it's me or if I try to put 4 people in this room and rent out every room in this apartment?
It sounds like that's what he's trying to do.
That's what I think he's trying to do, but I don't know that that's even legal.
No, you can't, because he had to have, if it's his place, he had to sign a lease, and your name's not on that lease.
Right. I've subleased before places when I moved back in town. And Lauren was still in Phoenix. I subleased the place until she got here and we moved in together. And I had to go through the whole lease process and have my name put on the lease as a subleaser. So, yeah, but that just seemed scammy as all hell to me.
I feel like at the end of the day with this guy and what he was planning to do, it was either going to be a flop house or like a cult.
Some
like
shady stuff, right?
Some kind of cult
like,
in there.
I wanted to punch dude in the face.
Was he like weird from the jump? You saw him and you were like,
no, I mean, he answered the door in like shorts, a t-shirt, and sandals, but it was 85 degrees yesterday, so who cares?
So you saw his feet right off the bat?
Yeah.
Gross. Gross. That is red flag number 1.
So this is an apartment complex, and
less than 5 minutes from here, you could throw a rock maybe and hit it.
I would have stopped in the office on my way out.
I thought about it.
I absolutely would.
I truly thought about it. I truly had that. I pulled up their contact information and thought about calling them twice yesterday just to rat this guy out, because that's the kind of Richard that I am.
I would have walked in that office and said, "Hey, I just met this guy over here. He was trying. This is what he advertised, and this is what he told me."
I'm like, is this what you're letting happen here?
Right.
But I'm like, how are you? I'm like, Mike. But the thing I couldn't figure out is, why do you want me to share with somebody? Like, what? Are you running like a hostel? That, you're going to load 7 people in here at, so your $1,400 apartment, if you charge everybody that's in there $500 a pop, now you're making $3,000 or $4,000 a month.
Okay, listen, if you fix my car during the break, I'll rat this guy out to the office. I'll call today. Because I don't like how that happened. I don't like how it went down. He pulled a switcheroo on you.
Isn't that
it's
shady?
A bait and switch, baby.
Isn't that shady?
Very shady. I don't like it. And you know what? Thick Rick was pushing hard for you to get this place so he would have access to the pond so he could fish.
Oh, they got great bass fishing ponds.
He was like, Lewis had a few places he was going to look at yesterday, and Thick was like, no, those other ones suck. This one's really good.
Yes, that's the one you wanted.
Aaron asked.
I was so bummed when I heard this.
Aaron asked, what's the chandelier situation in the foyer? It wasn't really a chandelier. It was a nice light fixture, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that it was a chandelier. I mean, from what I could tell, like, again, guy was shady, would not let me set foot in the kitchen. I could see some stainless steel appliances, had some nice flooring going on in there. But, yeah, the whole situation was shady as all hell.
We got a text from Leah that I think she meant to say it sounds like he could be a peeping Tom, but it came over, sounds like he could be a peeping tongue.
No, there was none of that going on either. Although he did want me to share a room with some rando, so who knows?
I don't know if this is true, but we got a text that says a lot of landlords are trying to get Haitians to move in because they will have 10 people live in a small room together and they'll charge them each a bunch of money.
I can't see the landlord. I can't see the parent company, the ownership group that owns this entire complex.
Guys, there are occupancy limits. You can't just do that as the owner of a place. You have a certain number of bedrooms. There are laws in place for occupancy.
Oh, there are. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. You're not the owner of that place. You signed a rental agreement. So you can't rent your apartment out to 30 people.
Yeah, I can't imagine that that is okay with the community, with the people who own that and are renting those apartments. I just can't believe that would be allowed.
Bunch of people said are there cameras in that room? He's probably hoping for a bunch of girls to move in there, so because there's cameras everywhere. I don't know.
And so you didn't have a girl, so he upped your rent.
Yeah, that's too funny. All right, according to the state of Ohio, this is through the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, as a general rule, an occupancy standard implemented by a housing provider limits occupancy to 2 persons per bedroom.
Okay.
And that is what's reasonable.
That's what I thought.
So he wanted the full occupancy limit to that master bedroom. He needed 2 people in there.
Yeah. I'm not going to say what nationality is, but let's just say he was not. He may have been an American citizen, but he was not American. If that makes any kind of sense, without me coming across as being something that I'm not. But I'm just trying to paint you. I'm just trying to paint you a visual.
Have you ever read? It's a long form article in the New Yorker, I think, called "The Voyeurs Motel" by a man named Gay Talese. He talked about how this guy who owned a motel building or whatever, he had this whole attic level viewing room where he had drilled holes into the rooms so he could watch people as they rented his motel rooms. I highly recommend you read it before you rent a room in somebody's place, because I would be looking around for holes drilled in the wall and all that. I'm with other people. There's something sketchy here.
It's pretty creepy. It's Godsmack on the Morning Blitz. 8:54, Thick, Kelly, Lewis. And
hey, you're getting a lot of offers, Lewis. Mike says you can come live in his backyard.
Trailer, brother cord.
He's 11 minutes from the station.
Mike Funk's a good dude. Basically, I went to look at a room. There was somebody that was renting out a room, and I've seen this before. Hey, rent a room in my condo. Blah 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 blah. You see this kind of stuff. So I went. This guy is leasing an apartment, but his offer was $500 for the room rental, which was essentially the master bedroom and bathroom in the apartment. And then when I told him I didn't want to share with either my significant other or some rando, it jumped to 1,000 plus utilities. And it was kind of weird. But he wouldn't let me walk past the foyer into the kit. Like, there was no that's the thing that amazed me. There was no furniture in the place. Like, none.
So he was working on maybe renting all of the space?
Yeah, I don't know.
It does sound like he was going to live there.
Yeah, I don't get what was going on there. But I mean, we're talking not even a couch in the living room. Or anything. No pictures on the walls, nothing. I mean, it did not look lived in at all. And it was a nice place. Like, the overall complex itself is gorgeous.
Okay, listen, you guys, everybody who's listening to my voice right this second, you have to have my back on this. If I call this complex and rat this guy out, which I am planning to do, unless one of you tells me it's a terrible idea.
Karen's coming.
Text me at 99700. I'm not going to be a Karen about it. I'm going to say, hey, did you know this? And is this allowable? Because listen, I'm going to rent a place there, and I'm going to rent out every single room and make myself bank over there.
Someone said,
and I'm also going to let my buddy at work fish in your pond.
Yes. Someone said I could stay at their house for $5 a day. Rick can stay for $500 a month. I was just kind of like, it had to be a scam. Like, I just looked at it and I'm like, and then the dude got attitude about the rent, and I'm like, whatever, dude.
Did you read Sean's?
No.
So did he have a bunch of lotion and baskets laying around and a big hole in the floor?
No. If he did, I did not notice.
He puts the lotion on the skin.
Oh, my God.
You know what it is? He saw my tastefully done black and white nudes and thought, content creation.
Matt says, do it, Kelly, and do it around 8:45 tomorrow morning so we can all hear it. Do it. Rat him out.
I mean,
Do it, Kelly. Everybody's blast him.
Brittany said
Okay.
it sounds like a bait and switch. Take your money and then rent it to someone else.
You can't do that, man. I know you cannot do that. No apartment complex is going to put up with that.
That's the thing. I think the complex doesn't know this is going on.
Right.
I feel like it's not blasting him. You're doing the apartment complex a service. And maybe if they want to rent your boy over here a place at a discounted rate for a little cheddar cheese my way, then okay, so be it.
So you want me to try to work out a deal for you as well when I'm ratting this guy out?
We're the Justice League over here.
All right, well, Kelly's going to do it, so to be continued.
And now, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Okay, thanks for everybody's text. Everybody wants me to call this complex and ask about it and turn this guy in. I'm going to do it. All right, I am going to do it. So thank you for all your encouragement. Nobody's getting away with treating our Lewis like that, right?
It's not me. I'm worried about other people.
All right. The situation with the cyber attack on the city of Columbus stinks. All right. And now listen to this little nugget that came out. So you know that IT guy, Connor Goodwolf, the guy who was talking to all the media locally, and basically he was able to go to the dark web and access tons and tons of data that was dumped there by the hackers who hacked into the city of Columbus system. So he was sharing it with all the media. He's like, look at what is on here. This is accessible to people who can access the dark web. So then the city is like, oh, we don't like this. So they filed a restraining order against Connor Goodwolf and a lawsuit against him as well. All right. They want to keep him off the dark web, and they want to keep him from going through any additional data that he was able to get off the dark web. Well, according to a newly released voicemail, this Connor Goodwolf tried to contact the city of Columbus first. That was his first phone call. There's a voicemail that he basically said, look, I found all this stuff and let me help walk you through everything so you can see what is out there on the dark web. I want to help you. I want to help the city. And apparently they did not take him up on that. So he's like, I don't think this should be kept secret. I don't think that the city of Columbus should be able to keep this information or the knowledge that this info is out there secret. So that's when he went to the media. So he gave the city of Columbus first dibs at doing the right thing. Is that crazy?
I'm not surprised.
I don't know, but it's like I said, it's I smell a rat. Anyway, police looking for, listen to this. This is cold, you guys. Police are looking for a suspect after a 2-year-old was robbed in Brooklyn. Police say the toddler was inside a laundromat with a parent on Monday night, and the toddler was approached by an adult female who snatched a chain off the kid's neck and took off running. This kid had some little jewelry on.
2 years old wearing bling?
2 years old in a laundromat. The kid wasn't hurt, thank goodness, but the adult female got away with the kid's necklace. That is cold, folks. All right, Rancho Palos Verdes. Rancho Palos Verdes. All right. This is a gorgeous, affluent coastal community in the Los Angeles area. It is in danger of just sliding down the steep cliffs overlooking the Pacific. So for hundreds of years, we've known that these cliffs and the ground have been slowly shifting. So what a weird place to build a multi-million-dollar home, right? But we got to have the views, and we got a lot of money. So we're going to go ahead and build multi-million-dollar estates on this cliff community. Anyway, the ground there typically shifts downward by 8 inches every year. So as you can imagine, these homeowners have to do repairs all the time because their homes are continuously shifting. And by the by, there is not a single insurance company in the entire world that will insure you for shifting ground if you live here. So anyway, so we're already shifting 8 inches every single year, but between July and August of this year, thanks to this intense rainfall, the ground started moving about 13 inches a week. Do you hear me? 13 inches a week for an entire month in some places. It has ripped apart these mansions, buckled roads, has forced the utility provider to cut electricity indefinitely to nearly 250 homes because of fire risk. There's a state of emergency for Rancho Palos Verdes. And basically, they don't know, and they've never known, if there's anything that can stop this land from moving. Basically, probably not. Like, if you want to spend your multi-million dollars on an estate there, it's going to be ruined every year. You're going to have to put your own money into repairs because you can't get it insured. And it's basically going to end up tumbling down the cliff.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Is this a weird American thing? Or do we just millionaires all over the place like to be weird with their money? I mean, come on, you guys. It's wild. So anyway, that is what's happening currently. I wonder if you could see it with the naked eye. I will like a slow. What do you have? Those cameras you can set up your phone and do like a time lapse.
Yeah,
I bet you can see shifting.
Oh, I'm sure.
If we're 13 inches a week,
yeah, it's 2 inches. It's 2 inches a day.
I got to see that. Don't you? Let's. All right.
And you said they've known it was doing this for hundreds
of years. This land has been shifting.
All right. Well, okay. Then it's on them.
Absolutely on them. It's weird. I have so much money. I don't even need home insurance. I'll fix all the giant repairs that are going to come every single year because of this. I don't know, guys. I can think of a better way to spend $10 million.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Those are your three things.